one more new theories, these we see the drop the radar one and short to make them try to have no guys every time competing in turns, otherwise the two are going to draw the alpha organs all playing defense after your first one shorter strategic loss one further one error versus 1/7 1 C2 the roll of values that determine the truth of policy the resolution 8 resolution is run on the balance or every turn registration rule book and to see him explicit labels as states per class which means it's true activity bears the runs the balance for Hermes proof shooting games controls that ways controls the internal link to mathematics the rules of the basis for predictability and prep even another all debate with the ergonomic referrals internal link to about the fact we operate the assumptions model framework. I value morality of nothing is not natural one, and the natural values equals good is fail to find ultimate good moral 3. Good doesn't give any definition because no words good as a limited quantum qualities that are yellow made defined by light vibrations, whether all we perceive it may be true, all things which are good or something else, but too many thoughts are other properties are actually finding good too. All being knowledge is absolutely reliable to card 41. It's not a god who thoughts I'm now having I may be all few these thoughts I know since no body if I convince myself of something next to links is this the Europe supreme hours seemingly equal to bring about it that I'm nothing else fine include I says that you have a sufficient understanding of the science. 3 subjects I don't know how to explain how you experience the world, which means we have appeal to operate ethics to have universal ethics that are applicable to all individuals and anyone symbols and more relativism makes culpability impossible. There are 3 ways that categorize some states non-natural properties externally, or from our constituent natures beings internals externals only constituents of soul the deficiency cast as 14. Internal naturally universal normal claims to a hard claim that bears in relation to motives can motivate externals and universal normal claims and cause of problems of having predicted deficiency of truth depends on names however the truth authority name the constituent that requires part of reasons based for that's one regress and the theories must have a basis otherwise we ask what you call the basic theories so morally body so they are morally body because I'm starting my practical reasons also we ask why you call the reason demand a reason which can see the authority reasons also the only thing when volunteer escapability every agent truthfully balanced practical reason they all studying and pursuing and under moral theories and presupposes at the end there can make intrinsic good and states practical reasons and series multi and given 3 action 3 every action can be broken on infinite amounts of movements i.e. moving my arm can be broken on infinite moments of every day my arm is the only reason can you avoid these movements because you produce practical reasons achieve your goals means all actions comes to reason that justifies a universal moral law and one absolute useful ethics morality because arbitrary means applied in different ways without reason non-arbitrariness is like only non-arbitrariness was hold agents culpable for their actions otherwise we can make ethical rules for different situations of appeal to you argue themselves like reason applied everyone is independent of human experience that means that allow one to violate a rule without another contradictions are assigned which is it's an illegal condition that otherwise all organs so they can be both true and false simultaneously 3 every agency morally or more tries will treat equal standard for ethics therefore in order to respect each agent's practical reason require universal set of moral laws forecast violation of other principles of rational affection that's categorical imperatives and formulation of factor 2 and there go last in the categorical imperative acts as the maximum your action become universal laws change humanities and ethical going or you can't regard yourself as making all through maxims acts as if you're law being a member of the kingdom events however required enforcement mechanism for these principles as rights claims can exist in the state of nature will fall into the omnilateral of Article 10 rightful interactions impossible in the state of nature using can never secure against violence since each has a right to do what seems right to her only the political authority consult the problems that determine CVs arms of the will and no one in particular the political authorities united operate by being an omnilateral will correctly may have everyone our interactions can be absorbed to universal laws rather than anyone's arbitrariness thus the same consistency with the categorical imperative act is enacted through the omnilateral for motivation the categorical imperative is interestingly motivational system express the respect of the entry of agency which is the mechanism by which we consent to pursue any and absolute motivation to pursue as you no longer an agent which means that the agent is being motivated to act and only evaluating testable to count for all foreseen impacts will prevent actions as individuals become more culpable for all actions states affairs to not just those that factor into the rules with our ethical theories holding some responsible consequences in terms of the which means any reason any moral these agents cannot control their being punished with reaction is impossible such as nobody want to find different amounts of pain and pleasure on continued exceedable migraine for reduction fails in the hearing just by the passage just by the future so there's no logical certainty was found for having again 5 cents requires violating against we can't know whether the action was good no it was good until after it's taken which means the judge cannot determine whether that was good 6 consequences imperially impossible to break man out of 5 long term study PG for people made their living off your advice on political economic trends experts made 2061 forecast that experts for worse that they sound equal probably solve continuing these are forecasts and dark money skip the 7-point contention. I contend the United States ought to substantially reduce military presence in the West Asia of North Africa region while the country for natural peace option holds the establishment of armies and other countries that contradict consent to 5. Necessary condition of virtual visas would reduce war for access possibility of making sure impossible standing armies will give laws constantly threaten other states with the worst first states armed enemy soldiers and are the causes of war aggressions and to intervention in the government of another country contributes to the universal principles of state autonomy granted 95. Just as one may not purposely interfere with the conduct of a person is wrongly to purposely interfere with the state does not harm other states but nor does people foreign powers interference would violate the rights of independent people struggling in this internal citizens would render the autonomy of every nation state insecure following intervention only in terms of military intervention conflict litigation convincing the prohibition of all intervention because maintains the autonomy of all nations should be respected and 3 the U.S. intends to intervene in internal conflicts in the region with the military presence and start governing influence over nations to be allowed 17 places in the world of deployments 2 in the Middle East the regions mix of violent regions malign and Iranian influence decaying regions require the involvement of U.S. Army lower process of military control problems the Middle East beyond destruction broader regional instability Israel Turkey Saudi Arabia and UAE compel U.S. intervention in future roles of the U.S. land powers 4 virtual peace intervention even with good intentions cannot justify the injustice imposes for all 13 consequently upholds principle of non-intervention as shall forcibly interfere the constitution governments and other state caution against using coercion for good purposes clear good intentions cannot wash away the same injustice from the means where to use and implement the method. First, Kantian moral theory seriously anti-colonialism to the point where Kant rejected colonialism despite Western social influences. The mistake the Kantian integration of cosmopolitanism for desire to colonize and Guild 14. Kant is a fierce critic of colonialism, Kant had European contact with the colonies, constitutional endorsement, constitutional criticism of colonialism, are closely related to changing views on rights, constant remark means that meant something analogous to special limitation Kant's claim, meaning Europe will spend the model of legislation across the world. The sketcher's idea of progress, or according to which history is moving towards a cosmopolitan condition, and 2 only ideal theory can justify the case shall be 13. And non-ideal theory cannot concede how the standard of justice is not clear how we respond to social injustice without knowing what scheme makes a scheme unjust, when no one has restricted about which justice requires disagreement we know which aspects of society should be alternative analysis of more of a systematic conception. 3, psychoanalysis is not verifiable. The student studies that one of their theory of vacuous matter 99. Most scientists believe that something is real can be measured. Psychotherapists are unique in the certainty that if they can devise a measure of it, then it must make, of course, we really have that idea backwards. We're convinced that there are really things that there really are things like conceptual schemas, egos, and other things we have measured. And psychotherapists are still fully present around themselves in a pseudoscience of non-existing unreality. Unreality is measured through various persistence. 4, criticisms are misdirected. Ideal theory should serve as informed, non-exact, replica of the real or methods best we draw from multiple different literature bases. Well, what's not obvious is the privilege of ideal over non-ideal theory itself. Exact by structure, non-domination, reluctance to engage real world world. Oppression ideal theory is explained by sociological forces that produce philosophers, not as that produce ideal theory, common features of Kant, Mills identifies the assumption of quality as a distortion of the actual world rather than an affirmative sort of feature of a model world in construction. If we take a solution of real world factors to be introduced also to realize the conclusion that all socialized models introduce models and idealized. First, that racial justice is not important is is not a qualified mission for model justice. Secondly, accomplished that we receive ideal political theory to mean more of an understanding the models can adjudicate appropriate different strategies which could be planned out using other models. And 5, repressions caused by arbitrary exclusion of others. Only universal responsibility make sure that everyone that includes everyone equally far. The subject is a physical creature of desires. I can simply satisfy my desires without considering the rightness or wrongness of my actions. The empirical must be held in check on practical reason and restricting our maximums to those that meet the test of the higher empirical use used to make our case an exception. Cutting last common exception.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, begin. That was my first question. So a lot of your offense is just talking about like generally military presence. Like the first part says like military presence is bad in other countries and a contradiction. But does the AF reduce all military presence?
Well, the AF just defends that the resolution is a good idea, i.e. the maxim of the resolution of reducing military presence would affirm under Kant, i.e. this action would say that, oh, if we're reducing military presence, whether that be completely withdrawing.
Okay, but isn't there still a contradiction because there's still military presence? Like you didn't get rid of all of it. There's still military presence there. You're still a contradiction.
I mean, we didn't say that, okay, our advocacy is either whether or not we're completely taking away troops within, like, the West Asian North Africa region, i.e. if you say substantially reduce means 0%, or whether or not the ideal, like the maxim of the action, which is reducing military presence, affirms under Kant.
How? You didn't get rid of all the military presence, that contradiction still exists. How is it affirmed?
We say that the positive action of you taking this action affirms under Kant, because we say that this action itself would be something that Kant wants. It's not a matter of, oh, like, we reduce every single piece of presence, right? But we say that, oh, this is the affirmative, the resolution still affirms under Kant.
Isn't the AF still a contradiction then?
How is the AF a contradiction?
Because we'll just move on. So
You have other offense other than a contradiction.
Alright, so okay, we'll talk about the other offense then. So you talk okay, yeah, intervention in another country. Okay, yeah, again, like all this offense, like this intervention stuff, like does the AF get rid of all intervention? Like military intervention?
I mean, we substantially reduce it. It's like, even if you define substantially reduce as completely withdrawal, which there are like definitions for that, either way it's still like offense under Kant.
Okay, you talk about how every agent is like morally or equally morally relevant. Like what about people who can't actually exercise that's like moral agency? Like
What do you mean?
Like people who
Like if someone's in a coma?
Yeah, someone's in a coma.
Oh yeah, they're a moral patient. So the way moral patiency works is that these people have, or like these agents have the capacity to reason, right? I.e. they have a functioning brain through the reduction test. But we say that obviously they can't use this practical reason right now. That means we have an obligation and a moral duty to make sure that they are not violated against, or like, for example, like her.
That's some side constraint you just made up. Where in the framework does it say that?
That's just what content framework says. You asked this question about our framework and we're giving you an answer.
Okay. Is there any like actual reason you have to do that, or are you just saying that you're going to do that?
I mean, first of all, like, we give you an answer, like, we have to protect moral patients, i.e. like people
Okay,
with
why?
we
Why
have
do we
an
have to protect moral
obligation.
patients?
They have the capacity to reason.
Why do we have to protect moral patients?
We just gave you the answer. They have the capacity to reason. We say that we should be able to protect reason.
Okay, we should. Okay.
He said that's not in our framework then. Like, I don't know. So.
All right. Just stop there. Or, sorry, stop crossing there. Okay. Also not the or neg.
What's the order?
It'll be 5 off.
5. Whoa. let you know what I did.
Yeah, I just sent it. Can you stand?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, I spilled like some stuff on it. So I wiped it off.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody ready?
I haven't gotten it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, okay.
Wait, yeah. I'm good.
Oh, I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
Is there an order on case?
It's kind of just like top down.
Okay.
It's actually just like general Kant overview stuff.
Okay.
Wait, so it's just a framework?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. I just got it. Let me open it up. Okay.
Right.
I'm good.
Okay, starting on my first word. Reduction of military presence are part of the same coin that stains U.S. imperialism, changing the military arrangements without question. The fundamental of the unilateral system operates on the range of desk chairs of the Titanic. The app makes it stains the way the militarism operates through outsourcing national security to local actors, remove the U.S. troops from direct threat, foreign and global 2021. Legal and measures of imperialism by locating truth on the right U.S. forces available in new global forever wars. U.S. military presence doesn't have more than a few thousand troops in one country. They should then use the military strategy and new mode of warfare. And so these are one of the main consequences here at home today. Americans are more insulated from the effect of war, making the U.S. planners war planners being outsourced with the command. Most of the key function of war is the third-party actors like private informers and non-Americans. The more workers on American social media, the local actors. The U.S. is also out to most of this around the actual war fighting. Most of the day-to-day combat is about local privatization of military service and the position. There's also possibility and deniability. The United States are equal to the majority of the trusted with American war now being given by U.S. parts of U.S. and social futures in the world. There are enough money bags coming in, but I give you a this is why we don't have strong anti-war movement. These wars have tremendous financial upside. The U.S. capitalists from the perspective of the U.S. American ruling class. The Americans sit on the deficits and really transfer their wealth to the rich for money. Sit on low deficits. It goes back to the coffers of the proper corporations. So there's no amount of money for the defense. There's too much when the money brings from the U.S. trips. U.S. imperialism what still is happening. You can't just person back to the number of boots on the ground. Even if I remove all the forces, support the government with funding because the United States only figures are paying for the government only exists because the foreign powers profit which is tens of thousands of armies and paid directly indirectly by the United States and capitalism search extinction, inequality, climate, ABR, and war of 19. Capitalism that failed, poverty, hunger, and ecological that's far as from inequality, unemployment today has become a U.S. unions, reduce the shadows of the birthday riches in the United States have more wealth than half the U.S. population, healthcare, housing, and education, water, average reach half a million are homeless in the U.S. Overused by capitalists, argue business leading to antibiotic resistance with fewer bugs, 2 million U.S. are behind bars and nutrient code. War has become parallel oil, which has escalated global thermodynamic exchange over temperature, unmanaged water climate, generated climate change, litigation, and 60 toxic and low radioactive pollution. 60% of the vertebrate population been wiped out since from 1970. How the house will be a irreversible major corporation by permanent climate denial of corporations, accelerate extinction. The world depletion of resources, the erosion of the environment. Therefore, I see the future economic benefits. We'll skip Greece 20. We endorse relentless criticism. The capitalist struggle-based fire rejects resistance and paves the way for radical change. Global 2002. Relentless criticism leads to the United States struggle victories even incremental can have a symbolic effect. Cause big points of reference to the capital disorder is a change in the relation of the world disaffected and propagates with release can trigger rapidly decapitated change. Radical change can be an exponential character of consciousness and radical criticism given in advance of having blueprint but alternative of course the masses there is no greater responsibility for any illusion and restricting capitalism and operate isn't necessary to prevent the autonomy of every personal ethical basis risking a possibility to make the necessary restarting point whereas for reform is a collapse of the possible imagination. The role of the judge is to reject capitalism at all costs. Your ideological precondition to prioritize neoliberal values and find the ideological of the one you see is a prior question whether the one you see is a good idea. Check and down to 4. There's no question of developing ethical economics with extending political framework, developing a politicization of ethics starting point is also made the subject as human being are ultimately responsible for action being in the world and opposite to the construction of the capitalist system itself. The ethics of not simply refer to the possible ethics fully as the contingency that nothing less refer to the risking of possible and the centralized position must be militant the fundamental ethical sense of political agitation is also the risky impossible and our alternative is to vote negative to refuse to participate in activities which support capitalism must follow up capitalist structure by refusing to invest our energy reforms to rescue capitalism inherent for destroying capitalism costs for time and energy resources and knows nothing about the capitalist structure that Nazis as well as their abandoned capitalist relations are slavery rejected reasons not participate in activities supporting capitalism world new but it's going to be eventually over when capitalist relationship forces men existence the house must see the relationship capitalism must be completely refused to challenge for war capitalism cause replacing capitalism we get whenever our proven lies I think to live free, then capitalism will be short. And second off, counterplan. The United States ought to eliminate all military presence in the West and North Atlantic region. The CB competes and solve case. Reduce does not mean to completely differ from eliminate. Monhero 9. Eliminate means completely remove a something, introduce as advantage, precise size of something. Eliminate can indefinitely removal. Reduce does not mean you are getting rid of the same measures. And military context reduce substantially 25% or more. DO2 3. The DO2 of notice that didn't reduce participation, didn't reduction define as increase to 25%. This solves case and upholds a categorical competitor better. Look at the first card. It says military presence. Other countries are as a contradiction, but they don't limit all presence which with the CP does, which with the AF is still a contradiction. Then third off, reading truth as an independent voting issue. 1. And Green Lights debaters saying whatever they want in the round and still winning. Someone can say the N-word but still win if they disprove the truth of the resolution. Drop the debater on accessibility and safety. If you can't lose for saying offensive things, if there's no check back against them, which makes the debate inaccessible and unsafe for groups harmed by these things. And then on the third off, 1. Neuroscience proves that what must be true, or so neuroscience proves that what must be true for one does not have to be true for another. A person with ADHD will not logically process the same as a person without ADHD. They're consistent with the category repetitive is inherently ableist. In CPI, our precondition or inquiry is defined as a person thinking of behavior that causes the person distrust and differently functions. In some cases, ADHD autism assess a close solution towards illness alters a person's thoughts, feelings, and other behaviors in distinct ways too. The impairment doesn't give us a way to measure what is right and wrong. Since it can be good and bad, the ontology can only evaluate actions. It cannot evaluate constant or acts corresponding to. And actually, the concept of constant is a maxim is an act of the sake of a certain end. Telling a lie would be an act. Telling a lie in order to get some money from a lender would be an action that is an object of choice. Action consistent to units of moral assessment and errors of moral value. Acts may be assessed primarily in terms of the consequence of actions, but the actions of the units of moral should not be. It would be impossible to even the formula of acts without attention to the intended consequence of the act. And negate on accessibility and ethics. Neuro theory doesn't include disabled people which inherently ableist. It doesn't give us a way to measure between right and wrong. We'll skip the fifth off. And then recently one of our shells. One of our things very happy is two areas alignment every two and understand what they do every just want to do reasonably just 2 hours same back gamers really abuse one see like the two and a chance and to the drop the argument one hour shows like a little bit 2 hours seconds shows 30 minutes to 2 hours but the time they can preempt 2 hours and this pins as the digital division means war theory cerebral solution the round on the end RVS on 183 I want to argue all the sense we can new shell window to force into and allocate at least 230 on the show which means the RVS back on use outweighs the quantifiability then we'll skip that next thing on the case next issue first on the con A sequence agents have more must exist in reason in the first place was it living a prior question be logic with the contradiction to determine any actions with this or balance of all actions of possible because they're not anxious to perform this action. And extinction comes first on any framework. Prerequisite for accessing goodness in the future and solves moral uncertainty. Number 15. Whatever more you adopt is important to reduce access to risk of other future people supporting as people who are exist every day. This is the most important thing. There are trillion punch philosophy, even rules of ethical doctrine taking consequences into account. The ontology version that you can serve a good doesn't by resection to reduce we should take into account more than even any consider they have reason to resection to risk. And Kant is wrong. A. Smations the agents can choose to act irrationally would be smations as an agents. B. Killing inject universal maximum or not can previous reason each must control them if it fixation and permanent any action. Then moral patients are included. They literally just say in cross extent like people who are like in a coma will just have to be included, but they don't give any independent reason why. It's just a size constraint they literally just made up. You can't actually give a reason why we have to respect their why we actually have to respect their agency while they're in a coma since they're not actually included in the categorical comparative at all. If we win that Kant is incoherent, you literally just vote negative presumption because none of their offense will weigh anyways. And permissibility and presumption negate. A constitute anything when everything is moral and erratic is the binary between right and wrong and praise of parallel so that proving justified actions are possible. That's done.
Okay, anything else? You just skipped the fifth off, right?
Yeah.
Conspect shit. Okay. You're good.
Yeah.
Starting off with K. Like, how do we what is offense with K? Like, it seems like it's just extinction.
I mean, that is our offense.
So do you gain any other offense other than just extinction?
I mean, the role of the judge is like as a pre-fiat offense.
Why is it pre-fiat offense?
Because we're saying, like, we argue that like this round has impacts on the real world because if we reject, like, okay, you can look to the last card. It's specifically about rejecting these capitalist structures which can occur in this round has real impacts in actually like not supporting capitalism and actually like.
Okay, sure. Where's the link? So it just says that reduction of military presence are part of the same coin that sustains U.S. imperialism. It seems that reduction would literally just lead to less imperialism because like the U.S. is in less parts of the world.
Well, if you
So
actually read the card, that's not what it says. So it's talking about how like U.S. presence is like it's no longer about troops on the ground. The U.S. is sustaining military presence in like thousands of different ways. They're exporting their military presence to third-party actors. They're paying these private organizations, these neoliberal like institutions, to actually continue out their military presence and continue this war. So they're not actually really fighting anymore. It's not about their presence. It's about all the other things they're doing that the AF cannot solve for.
Okay, sure. On the truth testing, IVI, how does your model of debate or any model of debate that you propose in this round also check against, like, for example, if someone wants to say a slur in round?
Okay, sure. If someone says a slur, I can run an IVI against them and a reason to drop them. But if the rule of that is
where do we specify in truth testing that theory does not come before truth testing?
okay, because the truth testing rule of the ballot is saying
We can just say theory comes before truth testing. Doesn't that solve everything?
I mean,
it's not a pragmatic reason to reject truth testing because your model of debate literally would be the same model of debate under truth testing because we would just read an IVI with truth testing, you would just read an IVI either way.
I
Isn't
mean,
it the same thing as IBI's up layer?
I mean, there's nothing in that the wouldn't see. And the point is, like, the role of the ballot is going to come first. Like, it's the role of the ballot and what they're voting on. They're not. It's going to come.
Wait, so wait, your role of judge of like capitalism, right? Does that like allow IBIs? Does that like check against people saying slurs and round?
Yeah, it allows IBIs. Yeah.
Okay, so you just specify that. You just added a plank, which is the same thing that we could do the truth testing.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sure. So the IBI just doesn't matter.
Sure.
Okay. On the extinction first under Kant, can you explain to me logic? It seems to be very reliant on consequentialism.
Because if everyone dies in an extinction level scenario, there are no longer people that can take action.
Well, yeah, because that's reliant on consequentialism and the intent foresight distinction, which is irrelevant under Kant, right? Because you say, oh, people are going to die because of consequences, but you say that
Well, it's
we evaluate that.
if people die, they cannot. It's a contradiction because they can no longer take these actions.
Well, that's reliant on consequentialism, right? Okay, so
No,
you would just say
I'm saying-
extinction is bad under Kantianism, but your links to extinction are from consequences, right?
No, because if an extinction level event were to happen and everyone dies, under Kant that outweighs because people can no longer make actions, which is a contradiction.
Okay, sure. 4 minutes of prep starting now.
Harris, can you send me Mark Doc?
Yeah. Okay, I just sent that.
Thank you.
Alright, stop prep there, 103 left. I'll send the doc. Or I'll send the card, one card that I'm reading. Is it fine if it's just in the body of the email?
Yeah, I don't care.
Alright,
Just signpost.
yeah, I got you.
Is there a dog?
Well, I just sent the card, the one card that I'm gonna read.
Okay.
It's just gonna start on case, starting on Kant, or the framework, or yeah, just case, truth testing, the IVI, the K, the counterplan. The counterplan will also be cross-applied under truth testing, so.
Okay. Make sure you let me know where you are.
Yeah, I got you. Does everyone have the card?
Yeah.
Alright, is everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the framework drop, and the metaphor of non-naturalism, you accept the empirical facts are absolutely unreliable since we could see for the things around us could not exist. We only know the existence of our reason because we're unable to think of reason, which means reason is the only basis for ethics. Completely takes out any reason to use utilitarianism or look at extinction because you rely on descriptive facts of ethics. For example, you say that we can have empirical knowledge of moral truth experience, but that's unreliable, i.e. Through your extinction scenarios. And here's our thesis: extended here, ethical formulations must be derived from object truths and not the pure goal. That means we have a practical reason for the ability to set and pursue ends. It doesn't consider to agency. However, a system of ethics requires we have a state to enforce the rights. Otherwise, in the state of nature, there would be infinite rights violation. What follows is an omnilateral rule to enforce the category of pure and protects agency. Unless we inject in one, one this is completely false because you just reason to be you just use your reason to be a schmagian, which means that it just still proves reason on the tailoring objection. No, it doesn't matter because you still look at the maximum of action. It doesn't matter specifically what time you specifically look at or what the circumstances are because you just look at the maximum of action. You use the reduction test to you evaluate the maximum of action specifically on more the moral patients are included. No, we literally no, it's literally what Kant says because a person in a coma there would be a moral patient because they have the capacity to reason. They have the capacity to reason. They're just not able to reason right now, which means that we have a duty to still protect them either way, which takes that argument around. Now all we have to do is one risk of a piece of offense when around extend the very little hardest one to curse we interfere with the foreign state. There's not harm by the country's presence. The United States military in the West Asian North African region would violate rights of independent people and render the autonomy of every nation state insecure on extinction outweighs one. As that constructivism takes that way, the point of ethics is to guide action during life to achieve morality, not forgetting ways to preserve life to then design be as that value exists insofar humans exist, but that is not more for humans do not exist. Just the prerequisite for running ethics so circular. Second, winning is an intent foresight distinction takes out distinction outweighs the reason why extinction matters is because agents foresee the consequences of the least extinction to shape their intent, but no, there's an intent foresee distinction because people have different people foresee different consequences of the same intents. For example, for me going home, I can foresee the consequences of avoiding work or trying to go home to see my family. Third is the freeze action. We have to really consider the possibility of extinction to be distraction. Destroying the point of ethics because every action would only serve to preserve the future, which is what a circumstance stops action. Is for this it assumes consequentialism is true, which we inherently die on lexical prerequisite, which is the first argument. First, just proves life is intrinsically valuable, which proves life for every always. Second, self-defeating. You justify always trying to stop the smaller risk of harm, which turns out the actual ethical calculus on the B point is completely consequentialist, which means it doesn't matter on our framework. Truth testing. Conceded truth testing in the IVI within crosses that it doesn't matter. Flag that. That means they conceded all the words for truth testing. That it's written that the resolution is written that valid return relation to rule book and AC handle explicit labels the states of class, which means instance activity burns their run the values for means to prove true and again means false. That always going to be controls internally to our matter because the rules are the basis for particularly in prep. Even another bottom debate with theory can be preferable, like the role of the judge, like the valid role of the judge and Cat. That's internally interpreted by the fact we all learn an assumption. This model takes truth testing. It takes out the counterclaim because it just as an alternative is better, but it's not functionally proving it false, proving the resolution false in any way because it's just saying another resolution, another thing would be better. I say another thing is better, but they're not actively proving the resolution false with a counterclaim, which means it takes it out on the IVI. One of the ADHD on the IVI, one of the ADHD thing is false because they're still reasoners. Even if they read, if they think differently, they still have the capacity to reason, which means that they're still moral agents on the Kant. On the second point, Kant can say ableism, father is again too. It is basically focused on good or bad well-being, disabled, disability rights, reference to the claims that disabled and non-disabled have with reference to issues at all, whether becoming disabled is good for well-being is relevant, whether she could be forced on her surgery, should also be respected by the rights. So the reason that public officials should extend the same rights as that disabled people are capable of choosing a person's ability, status, irrelevant, or most people's rights against interference from others or other, respect their rights to act, physical characteristics, determine choice, discrimination, incompatible with human dignity, and conveys values that are determined by our bodies, not just by systematically exclude officials. They should be required to accommodate differences between disabled and non-disabled or not, as well as morally significant having a disabled body is not undermine moral status. It remains true that discrimination is wrong. Social policy to reduce its salience of stigmatization. On the K1 is that dropping the induction fails incurred just by the passage by the future yourselves. Long concern was not before how to get it. Second is that consequences are empirically possible to course the man had evidence that a long study P280 for people who made the living off and and political young trends as expertise 80,361 forecasts, but they perform worse than insanity equal probably to all three outcomes, which means that the contention of these two arguments means that one, it takes out the KBS and relies on past examples of capitalism being bad, and second, it takes out their distinction scenario. First, because they're winning a framework, because you evaluate our estimate of modesty, i.e. who's winning the framework, they don't warrant modesty at all. Modesty all is impure debate because how are you supposed to evaluate between two different ethical frameworks, and second, it means that their scenario doesn't have these consequences are impossible to predict.
Alright, I'll start prep now. Fine, I'll start it now.
Is that prep or?
No.
I'm not wrong.
That is.
You might stand.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. What's the order?
Order will be KCP case.
Alright. Wait. K, counterplan.
Alright, we'll start with K. Judge ready?
Sorry, what's the order again?
K counterplan case.
K. Case. Okay.
Point ready?
Yep.
Alright, begin my first word. Capitalism causes mass structural violence, ecological destruction, workers' violence, and warming. That just destroys the condition of possibility for the transformation of life. Is a progressive fight against capitalism only by addressing the underlying profit motives and classifies the shape of inequality and impeding external threats of the value externally produced by the F has no effect. They have built theory for addressing any problem in the K or F or political prescription which can do anything about it. Capitalism controls any of the major institutional mechanisms that have any problem within the world. Inequality, nuclear war, and warming can all be attributed to capitalism, need for continual expansion and accumulation. Even if the F can solve some of the problems they bring up in the short term, it doesn't matter since the end capitalism inevitably causes these problems to reappear. Only thing that all can be prevent these problems permanently, which solves better than the F. These impacts are why material strategy against capitalism are key. There are synthetic resistance that don't give us any skills of combat structures that create the zero forms of violence like the new blues and capitalism. They will respond to the basically responsible to K. The work on the K was completely laughable. Their only response is that we can't predict consequences and that requires us winning the existential impacts in the 1 and C. But there's a few problems with this. First of all, the role of the judge was basically completely unresponded to. This is going to upplay the role of the ballot of the This is going to upplay the role of the valid truth test, and you should basically prioritize rejecting capitalism. Don't give them any responses in the 2AR on why they can reject capitalism or why the role of the judge doesn't matter. It's going to come first, which means you need to, as the judge, you need to be able to reject capitalism within this round, which means comes first by rejecting the 1AC. There was no contestation of the link. We'll extend that here. That was the first card within the 1 and C. It was the Farbrand and Global 2021 card. This basically is going to prove that the actual reduction of military presence doesn't do anything to actually solve capitalism within the actual world, because the United States is exporting their military activities to third parties, as well as investing in neoliberal private organizations to continue to have their military presence and this global warfare that they're in the Middle East. That means they can't do anything that's going to link back into capitalism, so the capitalist structures are still existing and creating these war and inequality that we're talking about in the Foster 19 card. That basically means that they're not contesting anything that we talked about in the actual critique itself. And then let's talk about the Foster 19 card and the predicting extension. Basically, they say that we need to win the previous examples of capitalism are being bad, which is the deduction argument, but we never made a deduction argument within the 1 and C or within the K. The card is specific to what capitalism is doing now. It talks about how antibiotic resistance are formulating now and how inequality and war are causing it now. We're not relying on any past production of capitalism being bad. We're relying on the fact that capitalism now is bad. We can analyze the fact that capitalism is actively being bad. That means that we don't need to rely on any previous example of capitalism being bad, and it does mean we can't weigh the consequences of whether or not extinction will happen. There was basically no contestation of extinction other than the fact that we rely on the deduction of previous capitalism being bad, which means that we are winning the extinction impact. But even if you don't buy we're winning the extinction impact, we're still winning the pre-fiat reason that you negate one face. We're winning the fact that even if the negative cannot actually prevent extinction, or if the extinction doesn't matter, what matters is the fact that we reject capitalism. The affirmative links into capitalism. They didn't contest this. However, we provide you a method through which we reject it. The alternative is to refuse. They want to say refuse capitalism entirely, which we do actually have solvency mechanisms for how this actually prevents capitalism from reappearing. It hauls out the shells and makes sure that capitalism no longer has the power to continue actually existing within the world, which means we do have solvency by you voting neg in this round does have solvency to actually resist capitalism in the real world, which is going to spill over. It is a pre-fiat reason to negate regardless of the framework. Then on the counterplan, extend the counterplan. It's going to compete because of the fact that the affirmative resolution has whole res, which is assumption of reduction, which is different from eliminate, and it's going to solve case because we're going to uphold the categorical comparator better because we avoid these contradictions. And Truth testing doesn't take it out since we uphold your standard better. You provide the standard of the categorical imperative, and you provide this offense under it, which is the U.S. military presence and contradiction. We say that we solve better for you, that we're upholding your framework better than you, because we get rid of all this presence, which means we have no more contradiction at all. This is also the independently the counterplan proves that the AF literally does not even affirm Kant, because of the fact that they'll try to say in the for a fact they're going to come up in the 2AR and say that the maximum is still a good idea, but the fact of the matter is that they can't actually solve. They're going to have contradictions. They're going to have all these problems. All four of their offense cards are predicated on the fact that all military presence is bad, not specifically that the substantial or reduction in military presence is a good thing. Literally, look at their card. Look at the first card specifically. The tagline literally just says military presence within the region is a contradiction. Not that some of the military presence is a contradiction. All of the military presence is a contradiction, which means they literally cannot even affirm their own framework, because some of this presence is still going to remain, which means some of this contradiction is still existing. Then on the one I see, the two biggest points on the actual framework page are going to be extinction here and our moral patient objection. So first we'll start with extinction. You're going to want to extend Palmer 15. The work on extinction outweighs, but was specifically Palmer 15 was pretty bad. Basically, a moral uncertainty proves that extinction is going to outweigh. The card specifically talking about how even if we are 1% sure that extinction matters or extinction is going to happen, it's still going to outweigh. We can't know what extinction will look like, or we can't actually predict it. But what it does mean is that we need to take every action to actually prevent this extinction from happening. Even under Kant, I mean, they would have to win a 0% risk of extinction within the negative case, within the case specifically, in order for you not to vote on it. If we're winning literally any minuscule amount of extinction, you're voting neg on moral uncertainty, which they had literally zero contestation to. Then on the moral patient's objection, essentially, our argument was that people that are in comas can just, they no longer have this practical reasoning and this ability to actually make decisions. The negative, the AF is going to try to say again in the 2AR that we have to respect their duty because they used to be able to morally reason, they used to be able to practically reason, but they no longer can. But the problem with that is that people, when you are actively in a coma, you are not respected by the framework. You don't matter under the categorical imperative because you're not practically reasoning while you're being in that coma. Even if you are respected once you come out of that coma, you're not being respected within it. They try to bring up this side constraint that we have to respect them, that we have a duty to respect them because they will eventually be practical reasoners, but ignores the fact that they might not ever become practical reasoners again. And even if they used to be practical reasoners, there's no independent reason on why we should actually uphold them while they're in this coma. This is a reason that Kant is completely incoherent because it's literally going to completely remove people from the actual framework. Some people cannot be considered within the framework. These people who are moral patients who could not practically reason will not be excluded in the framework, which proves Kant is incoherent. That's a reason to vote neg on presumption because they literally have no offense. If we prove that Kant is abhorrent or incoherent, there's zero reason to vote ab because they can't weigh any of their offense because they basically lose their framework, they lose their standard, so that's a reason to vote neg on presumption.
Okay, 103 left of prep, and I'll start that now. Okay, that's time. It will just be a framework or like case, starting on framework, then the contention, extinction, then truth testing. And truth testing will be cross-applied to like the counterplan and stuff. I'll just signpost it clearly.
Can you rehash that again?
Just case, extinction, truth testing.
Okay.
Case, truth testing, extinction, or case, extinction, truth testing, K.
I'm ready.
Oh, is everyone, okay, everyone good?
Yeah.
They've still completely conceded the framework that ethical formulations want to derive from all creatures, not empirical will. That means we require practical reasons for the ability to stand pursue ends constitutive agency. However, system of ethics requires we have a state of force of rights, otherwise in state of nature that were there be infinite rights regulation will falls on the which enforces the category period of complex agency. Except the value of the living card, which is often system was completely conceded because it's wrong to personally integrate the foreign state. It does not harm but the country's presence in the United States, unless in the Western African region will value the rights of individual in order to the autonomy of every nation and security insofar as they're winning up something confidence, which it goes completely conceded coming out of the one area warranted that modest is completely uncoherent debate because how are you supposed to waiver between two different ethical framings, which is what they're exactly doing with the power 50 evidence, which means there's no moral uncertainty under that. Second is that if we're also as far as winning our framework, that means that extinction isn't weight under it because it's inherently consequential. It's the third one when you know it's enforced distinction, which completely takes it out because they haven't still respond to it. It takes it out because the reason why extinction matters is because agents foresee the consequences of the least extinction that shapes their intent for this, that they haven't won this, the argument that freezes action completely takes out their point on how we have an obligation to stop at 0.001% risk of extinction because we have to infinitely consider the possibility of extinction of each action, destroying the point of ethics because every action will only preserve the future, which is circular and stops action, which means that our four independent reasons why extinction doesn't matter, and our framework takes it out, and independently our framework takes it out as well because the point of ethics is guide action during life to achieve morality, not figuring ways to preserve life and decide and value exists insofar as humans exist, but it's not moral for humans not to exist, it's just a prerequisite for ethics, so it's circular. That means it doesn't matter on the moral patient stuff. No, one they still have to respond to the warrants on why we treat moral patients the same way as we would treat agents because they still have the capacity to reason. And a secondary example of how we don't know if they'll be able to reason again. Well, we don't know if they will be able to reason again. I.e., they have the possibility to reason again in the future, which means we have a moral obligation to stop that. Or more obligation to care for them under that framework, which means that the moral patient stuff doesn't matter. It also is not framework, is not VI, which means it doesn't matter on truth testing. Completely conceded why truth testing comes first and before any pragmatic reasons because of burdens because the words were affirm and negate are real denials so affirm means to prove true and negate means to prove false means which outweighs because it controls internally pragmatic because the rules are based predictably and prep even though the model debate theoretically be preferable less internally to the fact we operate on the assumptions model that we do a ton of work on the role that's literally answers the role of the judge because it means that you first of all you don't value the role of the judge first because our role of value controls internally to it absolutely because we control internally even if they have pragmatic reasons to why their framework is more just why their kind of role of the judge is more justified doesn't matter. Second is there's no weighing why the role of judge comes first and why it comes before the role of the valid. Third is that there's no third is that means that it completely takes out the counterplan. The counterplan coverage is laughable. They literally don't prove the resolution true because they say we uphold your standard better from truth testing, but they're not upholding our standard better for under our standard or our framework better under by negating the resolution because they're just saying we should do an alternative thing, but that's not actually proving the resolution false in any way. You need an active reason, like for example a dissat that would prove the resolution false in any way, which means that truth testing completely takes out the counterplan. Even if you want to follow the counterplan all through, we're evaluating it under truth testing because it goes completely conceded coming out the 1AC and the 1AR and it comes before the role of the judge, which means it comes first. Third is that consequences of induction, it means it still takes out all their extinction scenarios. Plus we're weighing under for our framework, which means extinction doesn't matter under Cat, extinction doesn't matter, which is the only impact from the K. And yeah, we're running our framework, so it's easy after that. Good run.
Good run.
I'll have to turn off that.